Thanks, Laurie, once more here in Lisbon with us. And this was a small surprise I made for you.
Yes.
He didn't know that I was doing. She didn't know that I was doing this, and thanks. And I'd like, just because I think no one has seen this film,
No.
and I would like you to, if you could explain us how it happened, when, all this,
It was so long ago. First of all, thank you so much for coming. What a beautiful, beautiful theater. It's so lovely. This film was, until last week, I hadn't seen it since 1986 when I made it.
86.
Yeah. So, and I have to say, when I saw it, I was very happy with the way it sounds. It sounds great. It's like a kind of the first digital, all digital recording, so it sounds really good. But I had to close my eyes, because I don't know how you feel if you're looking at your old pictures or something. It was a torture. I'm going like, I mean, I just was dying. And now, I have to say, everybody else was doing that too in the film. We just forgot, when you play music, you don't think of how do I look. No, you just play and you're like, So we look a little bit like idiots, but that's okay, We were having a very good time making this music. And it was from a tour that I was doing around that time, called Mr. Heartbreak Tour, and then we shot this in kind of half live, half studio in a way, because it was quite complicated to shoot. There's a lot of projection in it, and so we wanted to sort of try to control that a little bit. So a lot of shows around that time, I used film in the background. And when I began as an artist, I was doing these kind of film performances and playing violin and film in the background. And I would do these in film festivals in New York. And by film festival, I mean 6 people in a loft looking at each other's movies. So this is how I really started, because I thought, what if I could do this on a bigger screen and not for the same 5 family and friends each night, So what I did was I wrote a letter to about 500 places, European performance places, and I said, I'm planning a fall tour, and would you like to be part of it? I had no fall tour, I had no spring tour, I had no tour. I didn't know how to do this at all. But I got 2 responses, and that's how I began to do my work as an artist. So if you're a young artist starting out, just invent it. Don't wait for somebody to ask you to do something. They will never ask you. Never. So just invent it yourself. I found that worked very well for me, and starting with these and then this thing was done maybe 76, about 12 or 13 years, 14 years later. So the screens got bigger, and the trucks got bigger, and more musicians, and so on. So that's what you're going to see.
Thank you, Laurie. And now, did anything of this, period? You said that when you saw the movie, that something. You have to close your eyes. But anyway, what from this film you kept until now?
Yeah, well, hopefully some enthusiasm for making things, because and always the idea that I never finish something. I see this, and I saw it in LA last week. And I thought, I wish I could see all the things I could. Those of you who are artists know what I mean. You see only the flaws, just the things you could fix, and you just wish there was a place that, like a museum where painters could go and work on their paintings at night. keep working on them, fixing them, always fixing them, With film, don't. It's done at a certain time. You can't recall them all and keep working on it. No. So I would like to keep the enthusiasm of it, but this film was also done in a whole series of, in a time when a lot of concert films were being done, and some of my favorite ones were Scorsese and also Jonathan Demme's, which is here as well, and as many of Jonathan Demme's concert films are. He's a master of this, just really, really wonderful, gets the energy from the performers, which is a hard thing to do because you have two audiences. You have the audience for the live show and the audience for the film looking at the audience for the live show. So an audience looking at an audience is a little bit awkward, but it's also kind of interesting thing. If the best is when it just becomes one visual experience and you feel like you're there. So sometimes you feel like you're here, and other times maybe not. But you can decide for yourself when those moments come up.
Thank you. I just would like to say that tomorrow at the Centro Cultural Belém, we are presenting for the first time in Portugal, and I think the second time in Europe, Art of a Dog, the last movie that you made, and it's a beautiful film, and we'll be there, and the talk we'll do it after the film. And today, we're just presenting the film. Thank you very much for being here once more, and
thanks for inviting me, and thanks for coming.
Thank you.
Thank you.